Good morning, fellow YouTubers. It's been a long while since I did a little vloggeroony for yourselves. Very busy actually. But today I'm doing something really exciting. Well, I think so anyway. Now, over the last God knows how many vlogs, I've been trying to get me Fartmiester running, and I've not been entirely satisfied with the way the different brews have come out. I've not had an awful lot of control, so I've been watching lots and lots of videos and decided that the best way forward would to be able to take ideas from the Grainfather and the Breumeister and try and link the two together and to make something that's pretty much as good as, dare I say, might even be a little bit better. But instead of paying £1,000 to, I don't know, £1,500 for the Breumeister, whatever it is, 50 is it? 50 litres, 30 litres. Instead of paying that sort of money, I'd show you all how to make a Breumeister Clone for less than £200. So, with no further ado, let me show you what to do. So for a start, you're going to want to get yourself a cooking pot. I got this from a Wilko. It's a store in the UK that make these cooking pots, and you've seen it before. Now this might look a bodge up, and it probably is, because I've not got the right kit to do everything that I want, but it does the trick. Now first you've got to get a bloody great big hole in the bottom. And also you need to make a nice circular hole, and I'll show you what for next, but you need plenty of space for the liquid to drop through, so it's no good drilling holes, you need a big place. You also need to drill 3 holes at the bottom, which is easier said than done, and you'll need to put some screws through, stainless steel screws. I'm not sure if these are stainless steel or not. I think they're galvanised, but I can change that later. So get yourself one of these from Wilko, make an hole in, try and make a better job than that, and then make an hole that size, and I'll show you what it's for. So that's the first bit of kit, right? So we'll place that down. Right, the next bit of kit you're going to need is one of these. It's a 10 litre fermenting tub, and what you do, you make an hole in the bottom of that as well that lines up with that. Okay. So we'll leave those in there for now. So there you are. Next, what you need to do is do a bit of soldering. And what you need to do is knock up something like this. And all it is, I think that goes into a cistern. But you get the grip. And just solder it into there. Do a couple of bends, not a big deal, and then get one of these attachments, and then what you do, you thread through that hole, line the bloody thing up, push it through there and then tighten it up with the little nut that they give you. So we'll tighten that up. There's my spanner, my trusty spanner. Tighten it up nice and tight. So there you go, tightened up in there. It doesn't matter if the liquor can go underneath that, doesn't really matter as long as the grain can't. So that's the first bit that you'll need. Then what you need to do is create a filter, because what you're going to do, you're going to dump the grain in the centre there, and you want a decent filter. And what I've done is just knocked again this together with a few drilled holes, and then that fits onto the bottom of that and screws on. So let's tighten that up. So there you go. Simple, pretty solid. Then what you're going to need is the top, and you need to alter the top. Now, you might laugh at this, but it works, I promise you. The lid that you get with the 10 litre fermenter, you cut a big hole in it. So make a big hole, and then try and find yourself some really stiff plastic. I got this off a redundant fermenter, a really thick fermenter, and I cut a ring out, and then what I've done, I've screwed with brass screws all the way around, and then I've just got the screws going into little bits of pipe from my beer line so that it holds them, but I don't catch my fingers on them. And trapped in between, I've got a gauze from, I don't know whether you call it a gauze, a wire mesh from a sieve, the old sieve that he had. You can buy these sieves from Wilko again, they're only a few pennies. Okay, then that will fit on the top, and what you need to do is make sure you bend all this back round, and then it clips on top. So we'll push that down. Now on the top of this you'll notice that there's a rubber pipe, right, and I've just put that round for a reason, and the fact is that when you fill the tub with grain, it does expand. The limit I've had in here is 5 kilos, but I'd recommend 4 kilos. I won't go any more than 4 kilos of grain, perhaps a little bit more, 4.5 with all your bits and bobs. That'd be about right, because it does expand and it does try and lift the top off, and it has lifted the top off when I tried it, so I had to think of another idea. So next comes the lid from the top of that. Now that fits nicely on the top, and it presses against that a little bit against the rubber there. Now it's important to have this because what we need to do next, I'll show you, we'll go over to the £90 tea urn. So I'm going to set up the video to show you what I've done at the tea urn, and then I'll show you how it all fits together. Right, so I've moved over to the tea urn department, and you've seen this many times, I'm sure, on my previous videos. So the next thing I need to do is to put my filter in the bottom there. So I built yet another filter, which just happens to be where the camera is. Just move it a sec. And basically what it is again, it's a square, quite large holes I've drilled, but nothing on the top, because I want a sort of, when it goes into the bottom of the tea urn, I want it to draw the liquor up. So I made it a low profile. You have to excuse the dog and the banging wall. So let's whack this in here, and that just pushes in there nice and firm. And what you're best to do just there is, if you just squash the pipe in there, it makes it a tight fit. So that is what is underneath the other little tin thing. Right, so moving ahead, let's hope you can see this. I'll move the camera a little bit. Right, on here, look, I've built a manifold, and on this manifold I've got one little on-off water valve there, one little water valve there, and a bloody dog barking at the back of me. I've used compression fittings for all of these things. Now this here, I've just put, that just goes in there to let the water or the beer drain back into the boiler, and then this side will fit the me other mechanism that I've just shown you over there. So what I'm going to do now is move my camera yet again and show you how it all fits together in the tea urn. So here we have the inner ton connected up to the manifold. Now on the manifold at the moment, this pipe goes into the bottom of the inner tun, mash tun, as I've shown you. So the liquid needs to be forced from the bottom and forced up through the grain. So to do that, what you need to do is have a flow. Now you know I've made this up out of a bit of old wood just to carry this, but basically we'll start from the bottom so I can show you. Right, when the liquor, whether it's the water or whatever, goes in the bottom, that's on, so it'll flow through. It can't go down here because this tap is off, so it's going to go into the pump, through there, into the pump, and that pump was about £60. I got it off eBay. It's a really good pump. It's a 12-volt pump. I'll put the link. Then the pipe goes up there, very simply, under the wood and out at the top. So basically the flow will be from the bottom up, zip, out there, down this pipe, down into that, which goes into the bottom of the tun, and then the liquor is forced up. Now when you want to drain the tun, you can't drain it conventionally because there's no holes at the bottom. So what you need to do then is to get a screwdriver, twiddle that one to on, twiddle that one to off, twiddle that one to off, and that one to on, and then basically it does exactly the same but backwards, and it sucks out all of the liquor in the middle ton. So that's basically how it works. I use the STC 1000 to eat the tea urn, and I drop the the heat sensor thing, whatever it's called, the bit of, you know, down to the bottom with a weight on it, and basically that's how I got it working. Now you notice these were an afterthought, because I did drop a bit of a cobbler yesterday, in so much that I started a brew and I'd put 5 kilos on, but with it, the grain expanding, it lifted this all up, and the old lock come off and all the grain were tipping out everywhere. So what I had to do is to devise something that would go across the top. So let me show you what I did there. Again, a bit Heath Robinson like, but this bar is just held down solid, pressing down on the top to hold it all in. And basically that is your £200 setup Breumeister. So I'll put a few cuttings of me brew that I did yesterday to let you have a look. Right, so what I'm going to do is dob the grains in, but obviously be as careful as I can so I don't get stuff everywhere. So let's get me my little jug and we'll whack this in and just cover it up. Now I have seen this before where you don't actually mash in, because the water's coming from the bottom. I'm hoping that we won't get any dough balls. Now like I say, this is 5 kilos, and I think, in fact I know, that this is the maximum I'd be able to do on this. So I'm not going to press it down, and then I thought get a clean these are washing up things, and I just thought that'd stop a lot of the dust particles coming through. I've cut the red ribbons off. This has been bleached, so I know, being a textile technician, I know that that is going to be bleached out, any colours, any seeds or whatever. So now I've got to put this lid on, but I've got to make sure it's on properly, because there's going to be a lot of upward pressure. So I'll just press it on really firm and then clip this down at the side. And then press it down and make sure it clips, and then try and pick it up so that's not going to come off. Now the next stage is to put the water in. Now I think what I'll do, I'll put it down the edge, and then I'll start the pump going, and we'll get the lukewarm water coming up, and then I'll set the STC to the required temperature for the first step. I think there's 5 mashing steps in this particular one, so I'm doing it exactly as a Breumeister. So let's whack some water in. Right, switch everything on and the pump on. And I'll start adding some more water in as we go along. Now what should be happening, the water should be pumping up from the bottom through the grain. But I'll just keep tipping the required amount of water in. That's getting warm now, so the water is circulating from the bottom and down here, because this is getting warm now, so it should be coming through shortly. I've got to get it up to temperature, and then I've got to run it for 20 minutes at 52. Leave that a little bit until it gets through the grain. So the water level is going down on the outside, so it's obviously going into the grain now, it can't come out. So add a little bit more. Just clicked off, so it's 52 degrees. So as soon as it reaches the top, I'll start the timer. Still going down at the edges. So I've opened the Beersmith calculations are right for the water. I still need to add 2 litres. So let's see if it bubbles through. I'm going to get another 2 litres of water. Here she comes. What a nice colour. Now when it goes over the side, there's a big cutout at the bottom of the pan which it will drain through as well. got a lovely colour and it smells nice as well. Probably needed to come this way a little bit more to balance it out, but not bad at all. So we'll set the first timer at 20 minutes. See you in 20. Right then, after I'd done a couple of, if you like, recirculates, the bloody top popped off, didn't it, on the plastic, and all the grain went all over because it had swollen up in a bit of a bloody mess. And I was going to film it, but I was such a panic, it was just incredible. So I tidied everything up, and I rescued the grain, and it was a stout thingy I was doing. Hence the reason I did the revamp and put the bar across to hold the lid down, and that successfully worked, but unfortunately I didn't film it. But it's made a lovely stout. It was supposed to come out at 1048, and it came out at 1050, and that's with, you know, the problem I had in the middle, and it worked out fine at the end. So yes, it does work, and I shall do plenty of brews going forward, and I think I'm nearly there with the Fartmiester. It's been a great journey. My next thing I'd like to do is to somehow get my little laptop computer to be able to control the temperatures and that type of thing, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. But it's a continuing saga with the old Fart, and this is what I really enjoy, and I reckon you can make a decent setup, a Breumeister, or a Grainfather, and I generally feel that people are being a little bit ripped off with what they're actually getting. That's how they'll sue me now, I suppose. Any road up, thanks for watching the old Fart. If you like my videos, please subscribe and thumbs up and share, because it's nice to get a few subscribers. And happy Homebrew Wednesday. Thank you for watching. Bye.